this will be the best thing that has happened to them, like it has with us.
We lost $100,000.
$20,000. When am I going to get my money?
Please strongly urge everyone to join us.
About $5,000.
The global launch of HyperVerse is happening right now.
You turn on your screen and open a live stream. It's December of 2021. On the screen, a confident executive in a tailored suit walking you through a billion-dollar crypto empire built on next-generation mining technology.
We will create a parallel system of existence that will change how people live.
He calls himself Stephen Reese Lewis, Cambridge-educated, a former Goldman Sachs trader, the newly appointed chief executive of a platform called HyperVerse. Now, stop the stream, because almost everything you just watched is compromised, fabricated, from the credentials down to the man himself. That platform ended up taking in nearly $2 billion from investors all over the world. And that executive sitting there in the sharp suit, he was just a paid actor, hired for about $5,000. On January 30th, 2024, the United States Department of Justice and the Securities and Exchange Commission unsealed parallel cases in the United States District Court for the District of Maryland. The Department of Justice put the final figure at $1.89 billion. The Commission's civil complaint cited more than $1.7 billion raised through unregistered securities. Whichever number is used, this remains one of the largest cryptocurrency fraud cases ever brought by the United States government. This is the story of how the illusion was built and who was paid to make it look real. Upon examining court records and the company's own history, a clear pattern emerges. Its architects were not newcomers to crypto failure. Sam Lee, an Australian citizen also known as Zhu Li, and his business partner Ryan Xu, also known as Zijing Xu, had previously co-founded Blockchain Global, an Australian Bitcoin mining consulting and exchange company based in Melbourne. That company collapsed, leaving its ACX exchange unable to process withdrawals and owing creditors roughly 58 million Australian dollars. Liquidators referred both men to Australia's corporate regulator for possible breaches of company law. At the time, no charges followed. Rather than retreat, Lee and Xu pivoted.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. I am the CEO and founder of Blockchain Global and chairman of the Hypertech Group.
Beginning around June of 2020, they launched a new venture under the umbrella name Hypertech. Lee was introduced as chairman, Xu was introduced as founder. Their flagship product, Hyperfund, sold what it called memberships, ranging from $300 to $10,000, promising investors a daily passive return of between 0.5% and 1% of their principal. Enough, the pitch claimed, to double or triple an investment within months. The company said the returns came from large-scale cryptocurrency mining.
You had to buy a membership. The membership cost a minimum of $300 US. You were guaranteed a minimum of 0.5% per day.
According to federal prosecutors, that mining operation never existed. This was, they would later allege, a pyramid structure, paying old investors with new investors' money, driven forward by multi-level marketing recruitment rather than any real revenue. By late 2021, the operation needed a rebrand and a face. It became HyperVerse, positioned as a metaverse and crypto investment platform, and it needed a chief executive who projected global, institutional credibility, something neither Lee nor Xu, both trailing a collapsed company, could convincingly offer. So they hired one.
Our Hyperverse ecosystem is focused a lot on our own metaverse, and that includes a variety of NFTs.
According to reporting by Guardian Australia, the man who became Stephen Reese Lewis was Stephen Harrison, a freelance television presenter and football commentator living in Thailand. Harrison was contracted through an Indonesia-based talent agency called Mass Focus Limited, an agency journalists later found had no listing in Indonesia's own company register. His contract was a renewable 3-month retainer requiring roughly 6 hours of work each month. Over about 9 months, he was paid 180,000 Thai baht, around 4,000 British pounds or roughly $5,000 US, along with a cashmere suit, shirts, ties, and shoes. For that sum, HyperVerse manufactured an entire biography. Promotional material introduced Reese Lewis as an economics graduate of the University of Leeds, a master's graduate of the University of Cambridge, a former derivatives trader at Goldman Sachs, and an entrepreneur who had sold a web development company to Adobe. When Guardian Australia investigated, none of it held up. Leeds had no record of him, neither did Cambridge. Goldman Sachs found no employment history under his name. Adobe's public filings showed no such acquisition. There was no United Kingdom company's register entry, no Securities and Exchange Commission filing, and no LinkedIn profile. Only a social media account created a single month before his television debut. Reese Lewis's entire professional history had been assembled from nothing for an audience never expected to check. But a fabricated resume alone would not be enough, so the operation borrowed credibility from people who were real. HyperVerse published video endorsements from the Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak and the actor Chuck Norris, each appearing to personally welcome investors and voice support for Steven and the platform's vision.
Steve Wozniak here, Apple co-founder, and I'm here to support Steven and HyperVerse.
Chuck Norris here, and I want to give a shout out to HyperVerse.
Similar clips followed from the comedian Jim Norton and the singer Lance Bass. None of the four had any relationship with the company. Every video, investigators later confirmed, had been purchased through Cameo, the celebrity video messaging service, with Wozniak's business rate clip alone costing roughly $5,000. None of the celebrities is believed to have known what they were endorsing. But their faces, layered onto a fabricated executive, created a final, powerful illusion that if someone this recognizable was willing to appear beside Stephen Reese Lewis, the platform must be legitimate. It was authority, laundered, borrowed credentials, borrowed faces, and a paid actor assembled into a single convincing mask. The mask began slipping before the world noticed. Beginning in July of 2021, Hyperfund started blocking investor withdrawals. By November of 2022, operating under yet another name, HyperNation, the platform collapsed outright. The blockchain analytics firm Chainalysis later ranked it the largest crypto scam of that year, with an estimated $1.3 billion lost in 2022 alone. For over a year, the operators stayed ahead of scrutiny. That changed in December of 2023, when Guardian Australia journalist Sarah Martin published an investigation tracing thousands of victims' losses back to Lee, Shu, and the wider Hyper network of companies. The story that broke the illusion completely followed weeks later. On January 3, 2024, Martin revealed that Stephen Reese Lewis's credentials could not be verified anywhere. Within days, Stephen Harrison confirmed it himself, telling Guardian Australia he was, in his own words, shocked the company had invented his credentials. Then, on January 30th, 2024, the Department of Justice unsealed criminal charges. Sam Lee, 35 years old and residing in Dubai, was indicted for conspiracy to commit securities and wire fraud. Rodney Burton, known online as Bitcoin Rodney, was charged with conspiracy to operate an unlicensed money-transmitting business. Brenda Chunga, known as Bitcoin Booty, pleaded guilty the same day. The level of alleged fraud here is staggering, said then United States Attorney Eric Barron. Ryan Shu, notably, was not named in the criminal case, though by October of 2025, Australian regulators had barred him from leaving the country pending their own renewed investigation into Blockchain Global's collapse. The case is still unfolding as this is recorded. A December 2025 superseding indictment expanded Burton's charges to 11 federal counts, including wire fraud and money laundering, citing more than 600 payments totaling upward of $9 million, diverted toward luxury spending. In June of 2026, Burton pleaded guilty to a single reduced count, admitting to personally receiving at least $7.85 million from the scheme. His sentencing was scheduled for July 23, 2026, before United States District Judge Richard Bennett. Sam Lee, according to The Guardian, remains at large. What the HyperVerse case demonstrates, more clearly than almost any other crypto fraud on record, is that authority is rarely verified. It is inferred. From a job title, a university crest, a familiar celebrity face reading a script it never wrote. HyperVerse's operators understood that trust could be manufactured for a few $1,000s at a time, and that once assembled, almost no one thought to ask for the diploma. The mining operation was fictional. The chief executive was an actor, and more than $1.8 billion in losses were real.